All right, on this episode of the LPDS, we are down the Jersey Shore. So we're going to be talking about that in the Junction. We got some LPDS current events and updates around the world of the LPDS, what's important to us that we'll provide to you. We got a funny little cage fact for you. All that's coming up right now. All right, Jabronis, we're back. Welcome back to the Libretti Podcast Diary Show. I'm your host, Libretti. It's a show that talks about nothing but tries to find the lessons in everything, and we have a good time doing it. Hope everybody had a good week. As you can see, I am not in the LPDS compound in Texas. I am at the lovely bungalow here, the LPDS bungalow now, at the Jersey Shore, spending some time with family and friends for the weekend, and had to set up the studio, the mobile studio here. So my computer is over here. If you're looking on YouTube land, my computer is to my left, your right. So I'm looking at my notes and stuff, and that's what I'm staring at. You can't see it on screen. I'll pop it up for you here so you know that it exists. It's kind of tough for me to figure out what to look at now. I am not a fan of just staring at the camera. It's strange to me. I like looking around and bebopping and getting my eyes all over the place. So we're going to figure this out, but I am very happy to be reporting to you from here. This is always a great place for me to come revisit every year and, hit the reset button with my family and friends, hit all the spots on memory lane, and just enjoy my time here. And I'm happy to be sharing that with you guys. I'll give you guys a full report on how it goes and what we do. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We'll talk about it in the Junction, actually. I'll give you the game plan in the Junction, and then we'll talk about, we'll do a follow-up, like a debrief after the fact, because I just got here. So stand by. We'll figure this out in the Junction. I got some ideas in the old noggin here. Anyway, I got to provide some updates for everybody that cares. For the Swifties out there, I have plowed through all of her albums, from the OGs up to the vault stuff, the different versions of albums. Excuse me. Then to the Towers versions, then to the live recordings from concerts. I did that all through Spotify's, and now I'm going through YouTube to check out music videos. Apparently, there's some other documentaries of concerts, of tours that she did. So I'm still doing hefty intel gathering. I still have a lot of leads given to me by the Swifties out there. So thank you for that I'm going through to check out different things about her and her lore and her story and why the fans are so into her and stuff. So it's been fun. I know not a lot of people are Swifties out there, but it's, even if you're not a Swiftie, this is, if you're into, like escape rooms, scavenger hunts, geocaching, silly fun things like that. I like to do that stuff. In fact, I made a career out of looking for information on things and targets and what have yous. So I enjoy that. So whether it's Taylor Swift or an athlete or whatever it is, this is fun for me. If you're into that sort of thing, I recommend digging into the Swiftie world, because it's fun and there's a lot out there. You will never be bored. You will never go cold on a trail looking for intel and trying to figure things out. So thank you to the Swifties for that. I am still torn between Reputation and 1989 as my favorite right now. I know those are like pop, more pop and more radio friendly, I guess you can call it, maybe. I don't know. I've recognized more of the songs on both those albums than the other albums, which makes me think that's why I'm making an assessment of radio friendly for those, because before that I only, whatever was on the radio is what I heard, or on, in movies and TV and what have you. So I am still torn. I like them both. They're both great for the gym when I'm working out. I'll pop those on and get a good pump in. And it's tough for me. I gotta have, you know me. I'm gonna have to go through each album 60, 70, 80 times to figure out exactly which one I'm gonna rank as higher. But, that's what I do. I exhaustively rewatch and re-listen to things. So I'll keep you guys posted. All right. I'm even drinking different Jersey Shore water. It's not from the Jersey Shore, but it's club soda. It's sparkling water with a little twist of tropical fruit. And I don't like that peasant water anymore. Even if I was a bum living on the streets, I'd still be drinking the sparkling water. So that's what I'm trying out here. Again, if you're watching on YouTube land, you saw the can. If you didn't, I'm not going to describe it because I can't. I can't describe things well. It's a soda can with club soda in it. Anyway, football's back. Very excited that football's back. I am very worried about the Giants. I actually think they're going to be pretty decent skill-wise this year, but they also have the toughest schedule in the league. So that's not going to be great for them. Now, I don't know if they're good enough to combat that. I don't know if they're going to be that good to circumvent the fact that they have the toughest schedule in the league by far. There's actually, unfortunately, a chance that if they're not as good as they're being touted and injuries and other things pop up, there is a chance that they go defeated this year. That's how tough their schedule is, and that's how not much more improved they've become. So very interesting to see how that goes. Thursday Night Football kicked things off with the Cowboys and the Eagles. I don't like either of those teams. I know there's several fans of the LPDS that are Eagles fans. Go Birds! But I wish that game ended in a tie. I wish it ended in a tie, or if there was a way to both lose. I thought for a second it was going to get postponed because of the lightning that was hitting the area. They actually delayed the game a little bit, so I was hopeful, but no, Eagles won. One of their guys spit on the Cowboys quarterback. It was a typical Philly Cowboys game. Just two teams I despise. Bunch of trash. Although I do like the Philly trash. Not going to lie. I just don't like the Eagles because they're in the division as the Giants. And that's not good for the Giants. So anyway, football's back. Stay tuned for how that's all going to go. Now, we're going to move things quickly here this week, I think, because I'm recording earlier than normal, so not a lot has gone on, and I'm trying to, I'm a guest here at this compound, so I don't want to overstay my welcome and take up all the time. So we're going to move right along into the good stuff. We're going to step into the cage.
Okay, let's run.
All right, reading from my computer here. Today's Into the Cage segment is proudly sponsored by Instatan. Are you looking to up your tanning game but don't have the time to sit out in the sun and do it the normal, healthy way? Then get yourself some Instatan by Tony Rigatoni today. Instatan is an all-new spray tan that gives you a full body tan in a matter of seconds. Simply spray a few spritzes of the highly toxic mist straight up in the air over your head and it will rain down on you and instantly turn that ghostly albino-looking skin of yours into a Guidette's dream. Side effects include itchy eyes, oily stool, Osgood-Schlatter, and severe pain in the perineum. Talk to Dr. Richard Gozinia immediately if you experience any of these symptoms. Now, to get your first bottle of Instatan today, visit www.thesituation.com, and if you use the promo code GOOCH, you'll get 29% off your first bottle. Jersey Shore influence on the sponsor. I actually have to admit something here. Not a big deal. I don't know why I said it like that. I had this incredible sponsor lined up in this brain of mine, this noggin, and I was firing on all cylinders coming up with this sponsor. It was related to Crazy Carol and my parents, and I'm going through it in my head, figuring out all the details, and it's coming so naturally, and I'm writing it down, and it's looking beautiful, and I'm like, man, this is going to be actually a good sponsor read. It's been a while since I've had a sponsor read that I am particularly happy with and proud of, as far as like the humor goes and the silliness goes. So I was excited for this. Next thing I know, I wake up and the whole thing was a damn dream. I was dreaming it the whole time. Everything. It was like a lucid dream, like an inception dream. I felt like I was actually typing this up on my computer. The ideas were just flowing. And I was in that situation where you dream something and you sort of remember it all immediately, but within seconds, the details just immediately start to fade. So all the specifics of the ad and the jokes and the punches and this and that, they were, as I'm trying to recall in my head, what did I say about this? What did I say about that? It's disappearing. I can't catch up to the memories fast enough. And obviously I didn't actually write anything down in real life, so I had nothing to go off of. When I have a good dream, sometimes I'll pop buzzwords and notes into my phone immediately before the details escape me, and then I'll go back to sleep, and then the next day I can look at it and actually get a good enough synopsis that I can, now my memory starts to get jogged, if you will, and I start to remember the stuff. I wasn't there. I wasn't able to even do that. And I'm kicking myself because Dream Libretti was so proud of this sponsor. I don't even remember what it was for. It was Crazy Carol's something. And that's all I got out of it. And I just remember all I remember in the dream was that it was in relation to my parents, and that it was damn good. And I was sitting there, Dream Libretti was sitting there like with that shit-eating grin on, like, oh yeah, I got something. I really did it here. And I didn't do shit. I blew it. Anyway, the Cage fact. Last episode, we talked about the horror Jesus movie. Well, come to find out, let me preface this. Everybody knows about Nic Cage's movie Wicker Man. You might not have seen the movie, but you know about it mainly because of the meme out there of the image of him with that like screened in mask, and the people put bees in the mask, and it's not the bees, not the bees. In fact, that was one of the original intro scenes to the Into the Cage segment here on the show. If you remember all the way back, 4+ years ago when we first started incorporating the Cage facts, that was one of the first videos I put in there to set the stage for the Cage fact for Into the Cage segment, because it was Cage in a cage. So everybody has seen that meme. Everybody here should have seen that meme and that GIF, whatever, so they know what I'm talking about. Well, it turns out while he was filming that horror Jesus movie, I forgot the name of it already. The Boy. I forgot what it's called. They're doing a scene inside some sort of cave. I guess it's the cave where they make Jesus. They have Jesus. He didn't make him. He was, Mary was cheating on with God. But they're in this cave scene, and while they're filming, Nic Cage, not his character, Nic Cage gets attacked by bees, and they have to cut and evacuate the cave and clear out the swarm of bees. I just hit the mic with my thumb, and I hope it didn't make people deaf, because I know the audio cracks differently and it sounds differently after the fact. So I apologize if I did that. But I was so frantic thinking about Nic Cage having to escape from these bees attacking him in this cave, and it was funny how life imitated art in such a way that, of course, Nic Cage is going to get attacked by bees to relive one of the more famous scenes in a Nic Cage movie where he's getting attacked by bees. It's almost like he manifested it into existence because that scene became so popular in Nic Cage lore. So, anyway, I'm real excited about this damn horror Jesus movie. I like I said, I'm being realistic about it. It can't possibly be a good movie, storyline wise and everything like that. But I it might be one of his more box office successful ones. I don't know if they advertise for it better and put it out in all the nationwide theaters. There's a chance it can be a big blockbuster hit for him, simply because of the fact that it is a horror movie about the birth of Jesus and Nic Cage is playing Joseph. That in and of itself should get people asses in seats in the theater. I don't see how it wouldn't. So I'm excited. I am really pumped about it. So I'm saving up my shekels for it. Anyway, that's the Cage fact. Let's move over to the Junction and spin the logo up. How are we looking here on YouTube land with the camera and stuff like that? We doing okay? There's a little flutter in the background because I got a fan on to keep things cool in here. I'm going no AC right now because it's a beautiful day outside. So just going with fan. So there's a little bit of a flutter there. Maybe that'll keep your attention. Hopefully it doesn't give you a seizure. Anyway, I'm down the Jersey Shore right now, but I'm in New Jersey for 3-4 days. 4 days, I think. I forgot. I forgot to count. Anyway, I do this trip every year. I I come up in September, the weekend after Labor Day weekend, because the tourist stuff that goes on in any beach town, beach area, it's basically dead. It is, I think they call it here in this area, the locals Labor Day. Because now the locals could come out and have a good time and enjoy the last bit of nice weather before the fall and winter hit down here down the shore on the beach, without all the tourists and the crazies coming out, from North Jersey. So that's why I like to come down here. I got my old friend Dave. He gets a house here this bungalow every year, and I usually drive up. I'm usually home all September. The past couple years I've been home all September, so for family stuff and things going on. So I drive up with Randy, and then I come down here for a weekend, and then I'm back in my parents' house, the motherland, home base. But this year there was nothing else going on family wise, so I didn't drive. I flew up. So Randy's getting boarded. He's at Camp Bow Wow, hanging out with his pals. And I flew up, and of course, I couldn't just fly up to go down the Jersey Shore with a buddy and not see my family. My mom would disown me. So I extended my time out, and I hit them first down here now, and back up to to home base for another couple days, and then I'll leave. I'll get to see my brother and sister and my niece and nephews, which is nice. But I get I get in 6 o'clock, 6:30. I get out of the airport, and it's a pretty lengthy drive plus traffic during the week. My father picked me up. We get to the house around 8, and my mother's got a pot of sauce gravy. It had meat in it, so we call it gravy. There's a big debate in the Italian American community on whether it's called sauce or gravy. I don't care either way. Again, I'm not trying to get hung up on stupid crap. There's the fake, those hardo Italian Americans who think they're in the mob, and they have to have these arguments all the time. Oh, it's sauce, it's not gravy, and it's gravy if there's meat in it. Just leave me alone with that crap. Anyway, big pot of that stuff, and then a whole bowl of Tony Rigatonis there for me waiting. Now, I don't eat pasta. I don't eat macaronis a lot at all anymore until I can get the Italian flour to make it here because it's lighter. It doesn't make me bloated. It doesn't make me feel like a fat bastard. But when there's a whole bowl sitting there waiting with homemade sauce, I'm not going to turn it down. I don't care. I don't care when it is. So I crushed some of that. I was a little disappointed though. And of course, as soon as I get home, Joanne back and forth with me and my mom because she she ate all the meatballs out of the pot. There was the whole pot, a big pot of sauce gravy. It had sausage, it had beef tip, it had neck bones, and then a bunch of meatballs. And she took down the neck bones and the meatballs, and I obviously I didn't care that much, but I was left with sausage and a couple of scraps of meat left in the sauce. So it was basically just tomato sauce and like two sausages. And this pot's this big. If you're looking on YouTube land, it's probably a foot high, this pot. It's one of those big pots that you make for a family. And for whatever reason, that's all my family does. Like, that's why I don't make it a lot. That's another reason I don't make it a lot myself, is because I only know how to make it for 10 people. I just don't need that much sauce. So I rarely make it. So she's got this whole thing of sauce and like two sausages left. So of course, we're joking, we're going back and forth how she's always eating the meatballs and ruining the meal and this and that. And we were supposed to also, I found out, we were supposed to have a family, like we were going to sit at the dining room table, the three of us, and enjoy the meal together. And we get home and my mom's like, I couldn't wait, so I ate already, so you guys can eat. And then my dad's like, well, I'm going to go to the bathroom. So I just ate by myself. Which, fine by me. But I just thought it was funny. And I posted a picture on my Instagram story about it, but we would put on the Yankees game. Big mistake. It was a dangerous night because it was Yankees and then a football game as well. And even though it wasn't the Giants or Jets playing, it was teams my mom hated. So she was rage watching the football and splitting between the Yankees were playing the Astros, which was tough. And then two teams we hate, the Eagles and Cowboys, were playing football. So there was a lot of angry rage sports watching going on in the house at night while I'm eating dinner. And the Yanks won, and I'm happy about that. They pulled off the victory. They should have actually swept. They had an opportunity to sweep the Astros, but they took 2 out of 3. That's fine. I still have a lot of complaints and whatever. But at nighttime, here's what goes on in the house. They eat, around 6 o'clock, pretty normal dinner time, and then my mother takes a pre-bedtime nap on the couch. She'll eat a dessert. She usually has Blue Bloods on or whatever, and then she's sleeping until about 9 o'clock. And depending on the day, if she has to work early in the morning the next day, she'll sleep till about 8 and then go to bed to sleep again. So my father has control of the remote. So while my mom's around in the living room, he'll switch back and forth. But when she goes to bed, he pretty much shuts it down too. So he'll put something on. He'll put whatever he flips to, and then he falls asleep in the recliner with the remote in his hand. So I'm trying to flip between football and the Yankees and baseball. Because I like the sports. I want to watch the sports updates. I don't care how bad they're doing. I'm still going to watch the game to see who's doing well. Because it's baseball and sports. I like it. Well, 9 o'clock is not early, is not late for me. I'm not tired. I want to be up watching the game. And when there's a commercial here, I'm flipping back to the other game and back and forth. Well, my old man, he shuts it down until about midnight, and then he wakes up and he'll go and wash the dishes. Because my mom does she'll do the cooking, and then my dad will clean up. And he likes to let the dishes and pots soak, get a good soak in. So at midnight he'll go and do that stuff. But he keeps falling asleep on the recliner, and he doesn't like watching the games, too much anymore if they're stinking or whatever. So he'll flip to Everybody Loves Raymond or some World War II documentary or some old movie, John Wayne, Clint Eastwood, Western, whatever. And that's what he did. He flipped to Everybody Loves Raymond, and I'm not dogging on that. I love Everybody Loves Raymond. But then he falls asleep. And now Raymond's over, and it's whatever is on Nick at Night now, on a Thursday night at 9:30 p.m., and I want to watch the game. And I can't yell at him because he can't hear, and he's sleeping. So he's half deaf and he's sleeping. And if I go to sneak over there to grab the remote and slide it out of his claws, then he could have a heart attack because he jumps up like somebody's robbing him, and I can't be that. I can't be the cause of the demise of JPL3. I couldn't have it on my conscience. So I just have to sit there with their dog Norton, and I hope that the dog sees like a deer outside and starts barking. That wakes him up, or there's I can make a loud enough creak in the wood floor to get him. Now I'm sitting there watching. I forgot what it was, Twilight Zone, something, and then all of a sudden he wakes up 30 minutes later, and he goes, "What are you watching?" I was like, "I'm not watching anything, you old bastard. Give me the remote." He's like, No, I'm awake now. Because he has to have the control. And it's his house. I get it. You got to have the control. I don't care that much. I can do some reading. I can do some swipes, whatever. I can keep busy. I just think it's funny that it's every single time, and yet he refuses to relinquish command of the controls. And it's me, and he knows that he usually trusts me with the remote because I'm going to pop back to his shows all the time. My mom does not. My mom will put back on Blue Bloods or some, murder porn on the ID channel, and then that's it. And then she'll hold on to control and power just to spite him. And I don't like to spite anybody unless I'm joking around and it's just, funsies and we go back to normal. But I just need, and I can't go into the dungeon. I'm only here for a little bit, and the dungeon is not yet set up to support my entertainment needs. I still got to move the TV back into a new spot. There's no couch down there anymore. There's not even a desk. That's why I didn't record in the dungeon, because they removed a bunch of stuff when they redid it down there, and it's not all back together. Back in December when I come back, it'll be ready to rock and roll, and we'll be reporting to you live from the dungeon again, which will be nice. But so that's what when I come home, it's always an adventure. It's always something. Not in a bad way, but it's always something to keep me on my toes. The issue I have is that a lot of other things in my life become secondary, rightfully so. I'm home to visit them and help them out and stuff. But Spearhead stuff drops off a little bit. Any sort of personal life stuff, I'm certainly not going on dates and I'm bringing them back to the house to watch the Yankees and Everybody Loves Raymond. Nobody's ready for that yet. That's like if I'm dating someone for 4 years, then I'll take them back and we can have that circus act. But that's just some of the stuff that we deal with, every time I come home, and it's never a dull moment. And I hope other people have some sort of entertainment like that, and also enjoy it too. Like, yeah, we'll get into it. How parents and kids are. It's normal, but I hope you guys also have those memories to create and share and look back upon of the chaos that ensues when you visit your family. These are, this is fun. Like I said, it's chaos, but it's welcomed chaos. There are a lot of people out there that don't have that ability. Their families are toxic. They don't have their families anymore, whatever the reason is. So I am, I'm grateful that I get to share these funny stories and enjoy this time with them and not let it get to the point where we're tearing each other's throats out. So, but now I'm down the shore. Like I said, I come down every September, the weekend after Labor Day. We get free reign of the area, and me and my buddy, what we do is we work out in the morning, burn some calories, get the juices flowing, and then the rest of the days that we're here, we'll spend some time at the beach a little bit, but then we're riding bikes up and down the boardwalk and shoreline, and we're just hitting spots to eat. Now, most of the time, it's ice cream parlors and spots to get, waffles and ice cream, some pizzas, stuff like that. I'm sure I've talked about this before. I'm sure we've discussed this. Every time I come down here, I probably discuss it in an episode and regale you with the same tale. But like I said, it's a nice reset. It's become a schedule. It's become appointment travel for me. And I'd like to get to the point in my life where I have appointment travel in other places. Like I said, I want to split my time in Italy now. And I want to have my year basically scheduled out where it's like, 6 months here, 1 month here, 2 months here. Every year, it's like this, I got everything all planned out or whatever. It can't be that strict, obviously, that stringent, and for that extended period of time in certain places, especially as I start, if things progress in life where I get a family and this and that, I know things change. I got it. I know you can be stern on the goal, but flexible on the journey. All about that. But the general idea is every September, I'm coming down the shore with my pal Dave, and we're riding bicycles and we're getting ice cream. And then every X time, we're going to Italy. And then every X time, I'm coming up to Jersey for Tony Rigatoni's and sports. And Everybody Loves Raymond. So that's what I'd like to do. That's the general idea. But this is a nice reset because I know we don't, I could turn the brain off. And as much as I don't want to turn the brain off when it comes to growing the business and working on other stuff, like all the other things that I do in my personal life, it's needed. It's certainly needed for me, just to be able to not have to think about other stuff and worry about things for 2 days. It's nice for the brain to rest in that regard and hit that reset and get back to, get back fresh and ready to go when I go back to Texas. So that's another big reason why it's so welcome. We don't do any of the standard cliche Jersey Shore crap that people think you do down here. You go fist bumping and clubbing and womanizing and this and that. We ride bicycles like a bunch of old ladies. And they're the beach bikes with the baskets. And we just ride around. Hey, you want to go here? Sure. No? Okay, we'll just stay here. You want to just sit out? You want to sit outside? Yeah. Like, we could do whatever we want. There's no schedule. There's no itinerary. There's no touristy things we have to do. There's no kids we have to entertain or corral. It's just 2 days, turn the brain off, hit the reset button, and then as back to full throttle Charlie's Angels 2 come, Monday, Tuesday, whenever we come back. So that's why I enjoy this something. It's so simple. We're not doing anything special. That's why I enjoy the simple things a lot at times, because it provides so much more internally for me. And again, I hope that other people find that as well in their lives and whatever they're doing. I'm not necessarily saying you have to come down the Jersey Shore or hit the beaches and do the same exact thing, but finding something to provide that inner reset for you might be exactly what you need to get out of a funk you're in, to revive, motivation and inspiration and energy again in something, and anything you can do to not burn yourself out and take the step back and remember that, we weren't put here to work all day, every day. 99% of the people in the world work because we have to. We have to pay bills. That's the way the system is built. We need money to sustain life, and we have to work to get that money. That's why we do it. And I think so many of us sort of lose sight that we work to live and not live to work. And there's a lot of reasons why that happens that I can get into. I've talked a little bit about it on Spearhead, the Libretti Leadership Lab. But there's a lot of reasons why that happens. You get the pressure from the boss. You spend all your time there most of your time there to begin with. So you just get into this mindset that this is the most important thing and I can't miss work. I have to miss my kid's birthday party for work and it's just, it becomes crazy. So if you can find those moments, 2 days, 1 day, 3 hours, whatever it is, to be able to take the step back, shut it down for a bit, shut the brain down for a little bit, and enjoy your surroundings, your life as it exists and wherever you're at. Enjoy that moment of your life right there, and then take that time to remember that we're never, I say this a billion times, I'm sure I said it here, I'm sure you're tired of hearing it, you're never going to be on your deathbed thinking to yourself, man, I really wish I spent more time at work. I really wish I didn't take that vacation, that 2-day vacation down the shore to ride bikes with my pal. I wish I spent that 2 days doing work for somebody else. Nobody in the history, not even Ebenezer Scrooge, would say that. I mean, he got flipped. He got redeemed and rebirthed. But nobody's ever going to say that. Okay? What you will say more often, more commonly, is I wish I took that vacation. I wish I took that 2 days off to ride bikes with my pal and eat ice cream down the Jersey Shore. I wish I made it to my kid's baseball game. I wish I left work early so I can enjoy dinner with my wife or husband or significant other, whatever. So let this all serve as that reminder to you all. If you have the means to do it, and you're not in a situation where you're working for a toxic boss who's going to fire you and ruin your career and all this stuff, go to your kid's game. Go grab the bikes out of the shed and go for a bike ride down the shore with your pal and eat ice cream. Take the time. You're never going to regret that. You're never going to regret that. You might be mad at yourself like, oh, now I got to struggle a little bit. I got to work a little extra now to make up for the money loss or whatever. Yeah, sure. But you're never going to sit there and be like, I wish I never did that. So take the time, find your reset. Find whatever it is that's going to give you that mental and emotional reset so that you can hit the ground running in life after. This is it for me. And going home in December, a little different, but still a nice reset for me. So that's all I got to say about that, folks. I don't know how long we've been going. Not too long, I don't think. So you're welcome. But before we go, very quickly, the big three, the 3 pillars to staying strong and being a better, happier, kinder, healthier, less stressed, more genuine human being, and be able to spread that positivity and goodness to all those around you throughout the land. Number 1, exercise every day. Do one thing each and every day to improve your health, fitness, wellness, physically, mentally, or emotionally. So it could be a workout, it could be a run, a bike ride, it could be a physical workout. You could break the mental sweat, read a book, do a crossword. I'm going to go do an Italian lesson right after this. Anything. You could go do, work the emotional side, prayer, breath work, meditation. Do one thing each and every day to improve your fitness and health physically, mentally, emotionally. Number 2, the hardest one to do, don't be a shitty person, be a kind person. When the opportunity arises to be a shitty person, take the LPDS step back, detach from those negative emotions, and remove yourself from the situation. Close the laptop, put the phone down, walk away. That way you'll be minimizing the shit and negativity going on in the world, and you'll have the capacity to go focus on more positive, productive things with your lives. Number 3, the most important one, be genuinely thankful and grateful for all the good you have in your lives. And you can do this by thinking of just one thing each day, taking a couple seconds to actively think about one good thing, maybe one thing that happened to you in the last 24 hours. And think about what your life would be like if that thing never happened, or without that thing, roof over your head, running water, whatever. That'll immediately put you in the state of gratitude. And when you're in a state of gratitude, you're out of the negativity, so it'll be a lot easier to not be a shitty person, to be kind, and to remove yourself from those negative situations. And you'll have more time to go focus on exercising. And if you do these 3 things each and every day, a little bit, repetition, 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 a little bit each and every day, I promise you, you'll be a better, happier, kinder, healthier, less stressed, more genuine human being, and a better, be able to spread that positivity and goodness throughout the land. I say better leader overall in life on the Libretti Leadership Lab. A little tweak there, and I got my tweaks mixed up. Tweaking. Anyway, thank you guys again for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Put your notifications on. Tell your friends and enemies. Hit the hotline 202-670-1114. That should be memorized by everybody by now. I say it all the time. I give the number out for everything now. And I'm waiting for more people to give the number out because I want to get messages from people calling in and be like, what the hell is this? And just hearing their voicemail. So 202-670-1114. Thank you guys again. I love you all. Stay strong.